Hello.
Hello.
Wow. Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 117. Wow, we're getting up there. Of the NgoVo Convo podcast where two stupids make a hype.
Hype.
Right. Hype. It's
Hype.
hype this week.
Yeah.
It's hype every week.
It's super this week.
Look at that. I'm one of your hosts, NgoVo, and I'm joined by Harrison No. And if you're new here, we both just want an excuse to talk about anything that ranges from anime to comics. But also, we're actually cleaning up our never-ending backlog this week.
Yeah, this was a backlog. Legit.
This was a backlog. But also, some would say it's two people. It's Harrison and I. Veronica Harrison. NgoVo Convo podcast. Two people conversing.
NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo spout right above my head. Nice.
If you didn't see our last news dumpy, he said that if he spelled it wrong, we both wouldn't notice. So I was just trying to throw him off.
It almost worked.
It almost worked. But you can watch every episode on YouTube or listen to it as a podcast by searching NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice. We're everywhere. Search it up. Let us know in the comments if we're not there. We'll try and fix it.
We'll try to add it.
Yeah, we'll try and add it. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about my adventures with Superman. Wow.
Unexpected.
Season 1. It's on Max.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have Max, go watch it. It's 10 episodes. About 20 minutes each.
Yeah. So it's pretty quick.
It's quick. So if you haven't finished the series, like this, keep it in your queue for a watch later type of situation. Come back to us in a day or two when you've finished. But yeah, unexpected, animated DC show about Superman.
Unexpectedly, we watched we're both Batman fans. So we don't hate Superman, but it feels we don't. I mean, I guess there's not a lot of Superman like things. Period.
Yeah.
Like the movies is kind of there's not that many. It feels like there's a few animated ones, but
Superman usually doesn't get his own stuff. It's not like geared towards.
I know for a lot of like the general population, Smallville's the biggest.
Yeah, Smallville's probably the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's do non-spoiler thoughts. Harrison, your thoughts.
I binged this. Mm-hmm. It's an easy binge, honestly.
Oh yeah,
such an easy binge.
Yeah.
And I love this. I actually really liked watching this. I was like, I think they gave such a good. They portrayed Clark. They portrayed the whole the whole cast was so well done, and it just felt natural, and it felt modern, of course, but not too modern.
Yeah.
Barely modern. It just felt like a modern take, but it was like good, and it was nice because we got to see. We skipped the whole they skipped a lot of like the general things that you know about Superman, but they go about
But they still incorporated it a little. They
still incorporated it, but it's really just focused on the day. Like he's like a young adult at this point. Yeah. But you're just following his life at where he's at now.
Or trying to follow his normal day, right?
Yeah. And for those that are watching, this is like Superman starting out, like legit. And I think the year one stuff is always fun to see how it's portrayed.
Especially when they are trying to figure out their powers or like how to just kind of maneuver between being a superhero versus like kind of like a normal reporter as Clark is.
It's funny. It's nice to see like a year one, unlike in live action. Actually, no. Superman. I take that back. Superman got that, so it was just nice to see here. But in this one, it felt more quirky. It felt more comedic, but also like they took serious moments. It was a better blend of like emotion.
Of both. Yeah. No, I agree. But I also felt like this made Superman a lot more relatable to audience, right? Because when you think about Superman, you think, oh, he's the superhero. Like
he is
the biggest and like biggest superhero ever.
Yep.
But in the show, you're just truly following Clark, and it's just like him figuring out his life, literally in both aspects.
Yeah. We'll go into detail on that a bit more.
Yeah.
There's so much more I want to talk about.
And I didn't expect this to be good. Not saying like it was going to be bad.
The promotion wasn't there as much as I thought it'd be. Because they switched this to Max. Because it wasn't going to... Remember that whole thing? It was supposed to be...
Was it supposed to go somewhere else?
I thought it was supposed to go somewhere else. And then Max took it.
It was supposed to go somewhere else, but then licensing got a little funny between Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And like Max, and I think it just stayed here on Max because DCAU's like most of DCAU's on Max.
Yes.
Yeah. But you are right. It was supposed to go somewhere else.
Or the promotion. I think the promotion switched or something because it felt like it wasn't as promoted.
Yeah. But the interesting part was that they put episode 1 on YouTube.
Fully on YouTube. Free. Yeah. So if you want to watch it and give it a shot, that's actually how I watched it. I watched it on YouTube first because I saw it appear. I'm like, oh, that's the full episode.
Yeah.
I just went for it. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, you did part 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It was great.
Quirky.
It was fun. You are right. Would recommend.
Definitely would recommend. Such a quick watch, and I think you don't have to know anything about Superman, but if you do,
you don't.
Because even I thought I knew stuff, but I vaguely recognize people. Mm-hmm. And we'll explain that later
I agree.
Too. But yeah.
No. But there is going to be a season 2. So this is season 1 that we're going to review.
So happy.
So happy. I think it ended on a good spot too.
Yes. Yeah. And then on the typical spot. If you watch it, you'll see you're like, oh, okay. Expected, but hell yeah.
As expected. But yeah, let's go into spoilers in 5, 1.
I knew you would do it too, but...
But let's talk about the Jimmy, Clark, Lois Lane trio.
Yeah.
How do you feel about them together?
They were so fun to watch. Although I think this is like the first. So typically Jimmy and Lois are always like the legit side characters, and yes, these are not the main, but they're in the main trio. So it was actually it was fun to see because they equally got time in some sense, right? Like we get Jimmy, because you would get moments with Jimmy Olsen like by himself dealing with stuff. If you hear a train, that's on my end, but otherwise look left and right.
And then Lois on her.
Yeah, she'll get she'll get the spotlight at some point. Like it wasn't fully just Clark, right? And we say Clark because it feels like a Clark show. Yes. It felt like a Smallville thing because then it's like you focus on Clark.
Lois even called him Smallville.
It was the little nods to stuff. It's always fun.
It is, yeah. And you know what? I always find Jimmy a bit more annoying as a character, but in this one he was good.
Because he's not usually fleshed out. He's always just the camera guy with Lois or
he's
with
always
Clark.
like third wheel too.
Barely even third wheel at that point. He is legit background character at times.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's Jimmy, because in the comics, of course, it's like not as bad, but in all the animated stuff, you're like, that's Jimmy. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Obviously lots of nods, like Easter eggs. Obviously the whole Smallville thing that Lois kind of calls Clark out. Daily Planet, Clark's parents, like just a typical. Those are like some quick ones. Did you like that the whole Lois Clark relationship was quick?
Yes, I actually did, because I felt like just get to the point. You know what? I think it's cool in that most people know that Lois and Clark are a thing. Yeah. It's fun. At times some people could argue that it went too fast, but if you know all the Supermans, sometimes I'm like, I want to get to that episode real quick.
Oh yeah.
But I would say in this universe, it's always one of those that will always attract, sometimes stronger than most. So if they got together this fast, it's always meant to be. It's always going to happen. So it was nice that like it just happened and you got to see it, or you got to see them organically start a relationship. Like they weren't boyfriend girlfriend. They were just, or
no.
Initially they were just like, I like him. I don't know what it is, but like I like him.
It was cute.
It was cute. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I like how they established that both Lois and Jimmy knew Clark was Superman.
Jimmy first.
Jimmy first, yeah.
Had to point that out.
Obviously, because they're best friends.
But no. I do love that because I love that Lois figured it out, and I love that Jimmy they figured it out. They weren't just like usually
they
it's
weren't
always
waiting
like
for the reveal.
It's usually like, I'm Clark. Let me take off my glasses and then stare at me real quick. It's always that.
It really is.
But this
or
one
like the shirt ripping, or like.
But now it was finally like, that's what I did, like that little detail where Lois figured it out on her own.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, they're reporters. Of course, they're investigative reporters, so they'll figure it out. And then
Jimmy, I love Jimmy. Jimmy's like, broken doorknobs. You're out in the middle of the night.
He's like, you broke the door on the first day. He's like, the hinges were broken. Or what was it? The nut, the screws are loose.
The screws are loose.
The doorknob was broken in half.
Yeah. And then they talk about like their college days. It's really funny because Jimmy's like, I knew.
Like, that's the thing. I think that's why it's so relatable. Like, there is a college day. You get to hear more about it. Because usually with Superman, like if you watch the animated one, Superman always talks about his young days in high school and such. Because you were talking with Mom and Pa Kent, right?
Yeah.
And
his Smallville days. Basically.
That's it, though. It's mainly Smallville days. While here it's like beyond the Smallville days. You get the one in between. You get to see how he becomes a reporter. So it's so cool.
No, that was cool. How did you like Clark kind of like figuring out his Superman path?
It was interesting. Here it was interesting because it was cool.
It was a little different.
Yeah, it was cool that he still rejected it at this point. Usually they figure it out after he leaves like Smallville or gets to the city. But it was nice because it felt realistic in that like it's traumatic, right? For him it's traumatic, so of course he would repress it. I mean, that's the typical too. Like typically Superman suppresses it and it figures it out, but here it just felt like it took longer. I don't know why. It's also been a while since I've watched something Superman related.
It probably took a while because they had to kind of like input his parents into the story too. Yeah. A bit quicker than usual.
Yeah, I guess so.
In a sense where like him figuring out, the pod that he came from, they kind of hid his stuff in like the cornfields, like all like that stuff.
Did you like how it was more than a pod? This one, like
God,
it was legit.
Like a whole like ship.
Yeah. Like the tech grew. I think that's what it was. It was like the ship crashed, but then the tech over time got bigger. Because even he was like, "Have you noticed this got bigger?" And I'm like, "Oh." Yeah.
No, I thought that was cool. And I like how his parents were like, oh yeah, they were like the typical like Kansas people, just hide it in corn.
I mean, they got a whole field. Why not?
They sure do. Let's talk about that one episode.
Actually, let me ask you first though. What's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode. You know what I really like? I liked episode 5. That was where Lois figured out that Clark was Superman and she wanted them both at the same place. And I just love how Clark, like actual Clark Kent's like, be right back. And then he like tries to like sneak away. And she's like, no.
Bagel.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that he has like this thing with bagels?
Yeah.
It's so good.
I know, that was so funny. I think that's part of my favorite episode. And then the other one was part of your favorite episode. Okay. I'll let you say what your favorite episode is.
So I'll say my runner-up, and it was the episode 6. That was the one after that. It was with the gorilla.
Oh, yeah.
Or the machine brain.
Machine brain. Yeah.
I think I messaged Veronica. I was like, they made me believe in love.
With a gorilla.
I thought they were so funny. It was like a French gorilla and like a German robot. And
with the brain.
Yeah. So with the brain. I thought that was funny. I thought that was just funny because again, that was a Jimmy Olsen focused one somewhat because Clark and obviously Lois were having a falling out for a bit.
A meltdown.
A meltdown. Like they weren't sure what's going on.
Yes.
But on top of that, I will add it's fun to see that there's drama in their relationship, but it gets resolved relatively quickly or it's not as cringe.
But they talk it out, not like teenage love, but
not
like
CW
actual
love.
adults.
Yeah. Not like CW love.
I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah.
But my other favorite one is the episode after that, which is the 7.
The God of Chaos.
I hate saying his name. He said it, and I tried to remember how to say it. Miss.
I won't say it.
Yeah, no.
Just say God of Chaos, and we'll be done.
Yeah, you guys would know it.
Yeah.
But the Legion of Loises was so interesting.
The multiverse of Superman.
Dude, they even had the animated universe one or the Superman animated,
like the original.
Yeah, and other ones too. It was just like that was just so cool. I was like, that
was really cool.
This is. They just address it and they're like, yeah, there's a multiverse. I'm like, yes, there is. That's so cool. Oh my god, I can't.
And I love how the God of Chaos is like, you have to help me. You're Superman. And Clark's just like, huh?
How did you know? Switches him to all different ones at the front door. And he's like, and Clark is like low-key like freaking out. He's like, what just happened?
But I also love this episode because it was Clark and Lois's first date. And they were both freaking out over their first date.
Doing charts.
Yeah. Flow charts and everything.
And Jimmy's just like, you'll like this, she'll like this. And then, of course, I'm going to go to Lois because it's normal. It was not normal.
It's not normal. Not at all.
But it was funny because it's like, it's times like this where they make you root for them. Like, they...
Yes.
And you know it's going to happen, but it's like, you see it happening and it's just like adorable. Right.
It was like sort of slow burn, sort of not at the same time. It was cute.
Yeah.
Did you like the serious aspect?
Yeah.
Of this, like all like everything with the general Lane and like what's about to happen.
They did a good. So it's really fun, in that if you know Superman like just his canon and like characters and such. Did you suspect General Lane? Because they never said Lane. They always said General.
They never said
They just called
Lane.
him the General or something, right?
Yeah, they just called him General, but I had like a feeling.
Yeah. And I mentioned this because they did race swap some characters. Jimmy Olsen was expected because it's always the case.
Yep.
But they made Lois half either Asian or half Asian, right?
I think she's half.
I think she's half too.
She's half. Yeah.
I thought that was fine because honestly, at the end of the day, I always wondered if Lois was Asian because black hair, which but it just is an easy switch, right? It was not, but it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't noticeable.
But then the general, I was like, I can't tell if he's Asian or not, and he looked, and then by the end, I'm like, yeah, it's him. It's got to be him.
It's him. Yeah.
But
yeah, did you like all the fights?
The fights were fun. It was.
Was it nice to see him kind of like build up?
Yeah, because of course he's
the Superman we know.
Because he consistently says, "I am still learning. I'm still figuring out my stuff." Yeah, so the amount of times that Lois is like, "How did you know that you'd be X, like fire resistant, or like, how'd you survive that bullet, or like the laser?" He's like, "I don't know."
He basically every time he's like, "I kind of just did it."
I just kind of did it because I assumed, but I think it was always cute. The one that they were having in episode 7. He was like, why would you do, or how would you know that? He's like, I don't know, but I know that you aren't. So
yeah,
and it's always like the little moments that he has that makes him it's the typical Boy Scout Superman.
Yes.
But it just feels nice.
But it's also like Clark is a dork.
A beefy dork.
A beefy dork. But no, I agree. I think the setup to Clark understanding his powers in this show was really well done. Because he couldn't like figure out, as an audience member, Superman shoots laser beams out of his eyes, which he did not do right off the bat.
He did not do right off the bat, no.
And the second one was that like him like hearing people's like screams and like cries for help. That didn't happen early on either. So I thought it was really nice to just kind of like ramp up to it and not totally give him everything.
Yeah, it is. The listening one is the one that became most apparent when he was like, I can hear everyone now.
Yeah.
And that
was in the middle of the show too, because that just kind of clicked.
And I know that take is different because, of course, like in the Snyderverse, he had it early. Because it is weird. Like, he had it early, but I think the argument is he suppressed, like, just had like suppressed, like, his emotions and origins down so hard that it probably helped mentally. Yeah. That was a mental block. It's always the mental block, right? Superman always has that mental block, so it's just dependent. Again, multiverse. We've already established that too, so it's okay.
And it's happening.
Do you have a favorite villain? Because I know you mentioned in general, but...
Ooh.
Because I feel like Ivo was the big one, which I think Ivo was an interesting take.
That was
usually he's like an old man, like scientist, but...
He's like a crippled old man.
But in here, he's like he's like corporal bro.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's the perfect word for him.
That's literally because he's like a tech billionaire, but I was like, oh, he's a corpo bro. Got it.
No, oh my god, that's a great one.
Or tech bro too. Even.
Or tech bro, yeah. You know who I really didn't like? Ooh. And she was kind of like a really small character, but Vicky Vale, which is Lois Lane's like.
They did it good.
Yeah, journalism like idol.
Gotham's.
I think. Yes. I think they did a really good take on her because she, Lois loves her, right? As an idol. Yeah. But then when Lois starts taking her around town and like introducing her to like everyone that might know Superman.
You realize she's the cutthroat?
Yeah.
Because typically I think they portray, not Vicky Vale, what's that other lady?
I forget the other name.
The one for Daily Planet.
Yeah.
I always forget because she's in every Superman Daily Planet iteration now. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
It's at the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember.
Because they're the interns, but they're like the official ones. I don't know.
I can't remember. I know the name too. It's there, and I can't.
Cat Grant.
Yes.
And Cat Grant's usually like the one that's the cutthroat in their thing, but it's because they can pull from Gotham, and Vicky Vale which is cool because Vicky Vale could be cutthroat because she lives in Gotham. Let's be real.
Yes. So I thought she was a really good one, but also the God of Chaos. He's so funny.
He's so funny. Don't you love that the hat became a crown?
Yeah.
It looked because the hat is dumb.
Yeah.
But his character's also kind of dumb. But they made him so cool. They made it so cool though.
Yeah, no. The crown was really funny. And then like his third eye just opens up and I just love how Lois is like, oh.
Oh god. How'd you feel because I know with Superman they kind of did like a lot of they even referred to the evil Superman. And that's why the League of Lois Lanes exists.
That's why, Lois exists. Leagues.
Do you like, or how'd you feel like with the whole... I know Superman's learning how to do stuff, but he's also having to grasp the idea that his race of people in this one, like the Kryptonians, could be just an evil, like an army... What's the word? They're like militaristic society.
Yeah. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because Clark, he didn't find out about this until like the second to last episode. Mm-hmm. Basically, the audience and Lois and Jimmy already knew, but to Clark, he's just like, I'm just like a kid from Kansas. Like,
yeah.
But I think it's going to be interesting for season 2 for Clark to like really learn about his race and like what he can do.
Did you like how his dad never could reveal anything to him?
Yeah.
But he can't right now either.
Yeah. That was cool. His real dad.
I was kind of, I was like, at parts I was worried that they revealed it too fast. Like he would start talking to him and they would have to lean on that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they didn't. And it was just like an underlying like theme that.
I'm happy that part is still mysterious to people right now.
I love the mystery. I think that's such a good take.
Yeah. Did you think that they did General Lane right here?
Yeah,
I think he's a bit more violent in this one.
Violent, but with good intentions still. Like, the intentions are correct, and Waller is shown as cutthroat.
Yes.
Which it was funny, because she was under Lane. But then
they switched out eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any cons? Anything you, like, a gripe?
I think if I had a gripe, I would have to rewatch it. Because I think I just had too much fun watching this, honestly.
I like how you're like, I have to rewatch to look at it.
Yeah, because I think more often that I was like kind of geeking out on like the little things that they were doing.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't think I have anything that comes to mind, because they always had like the random stuff, like random Superman like lore that would pop up. Like, Steve Lombard is the funniest thing, right? I didn't expect to like it as much, but it was good.
I was going to be a total hater for him.
Because usually you are.
Yeah.
Steve Lombard's just a sports guy.
He like, really legitimately is. But you know what? I love the Daily Planet, like their daily days there as interns. Turned reporters.
At the end, yeah.
At the end.
Give them the start.
But you know what else is really cool? That Jimmy's super rich.
That was such a bomb. Like, they dropped that bomb so hard that out of nowhere he's like, oh yeah, I'm rich now. Pass me the...
His last line.
Pass me the, whatever, potatoes or something. And they're all just like... What?
Treating him as normal.
Yeah.
No. I'm super excited for season 2. I think they'll flesh out Clark even more in season 2.
Agreed. It was good. It was fun. They had the action. They had the romance. The rom-com. Science fiction at points. Oh, it was such a good mix. And I think, good. All the actors did really good. I actually was kind of... I wasn't super sure on Jack Quaid.
Really?
On the Superman part. But he was able to do the flip pretty well too. So it's not that bad. Yeah. And everyone else did good. Like Alice Lee did really good as Lois Lane. Ishmael, they did good as like Jimmy. Everyone just did. It was just good shit.
It's top tier. That's why DC animated stuff is up there.
Just watch it.
I have to like differentiate animated stuff with DC because we've been burned too many times.
Yeah, but that's why people are always like, "Do you want a new movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I want a new live action," but y'all sleeping on the animated.
Yes.
Sleeping on the animated.
Sleeping, but don't sleep on it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you have any other closing thoughts? Anything else you want to bring up?
Nope. Not at all.
Just if you're this far in,
just go watch it. If you've seen this much, you've already watched it. Actually, just kidding.
Yeah. And that's where you just comment down below what your favorite parts were.
Yeah. What aspects did you like, or what did you not like? Because I can't think of anything right now. Maybe there's too many villains, but they also turned it pretty well to Task Force X.
But they turned it.
Like they flipped it pretty well, right? And who knows? If we're getting season 2, we'll get more focus. But I think the main ones were like General Lane and NgoVo, but they showed a lot of other people too. I can't think of on top of my head.
Yeah. No. Everything was good.
Like Intergang. Intergang's a thing, right? That's already cool too.
That they don't even focus on too much in live action at all.
They don't. So yeah.
If anything, we got gripes with live action, not the animated stuff.
Me too. I'm hurt.
Well, let me close this out before Harrison just goes ham in on the live action.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, and Threads and Facebook at NgoVo Convo, NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Big red button below me.
Boom.
Like button below us. Boom.
Like that smash button.
Like the smash
Subscribe
button.
to the smash button.
We're confusing everyone. It's okay. But comment down below, what do you want to see next? What do you want us to watch, review, read, play, talk about? Anything. Everything.
Yeah.
Let us know. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.